VDC, welcome back to the fifth installment of the
The
VDC
breach
Match
flash.
Point podcast. I am here with my main man, BrimmyWithDaHaemi, hashtag bang say, what is good, my man?
What is up, everybody? It's good to see everybody again.
Oh
This
yeah.
is this has been a hectic podcast to record due to some scheduling conflicts and unforeseen circumstances. So if we're wearing something different or we look different, it's probably because we do look different because we're in a
Yep.
different state. I mean, how long ago was it that we recorded the first part of this podcast?
Like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, so this is post our long 4.5 hour stream on the YouTube. So if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
sound a little bit more dead or our voices sound not as great, it's because we talked for 4.5 hours yesterday night, less than 24 hours ago. So um,
Exactly.
we've got an exciting podcast today, Paco. We've
A
got
little bit
some
short.
really good guests coming in today, and as well as in the past, we had some really good guests as well. Paco, who are we gonna have on today? What can we expect?
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter pod in terms of how much content we got, but it's championship season. I mean, we got winners all around. So we're going to start part one of the championship interview series today with interviews of the prospect winners of OS, but AndyJ and Kise, I'm
Kaise.
yeah,
It's been a week. It's
that
been a week, and we didn't
yeah,
really know
it's
how
been
to
a
pronounce
while.
it.
And then from
I miss all Sunday
and
from
then
OS.
from PN, Sherni, Werney, and Rizzy Lizzy. So it's gonna be a good one. But without further ado, let's get our first guest in. I'll see you in a moment. And we're back. What's up, everybody? So for our first guest of the pod, we have Sherni, Werney, and Rizzy Lizzy, aka Connor from PN Mythic, the Mythic Champions. Let's go.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Thank you guys again for, I said this off air, but thank you again for the kindness and the rescheduling. It was hectic, I know, but we appreciate you still being able to show up and give your time. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, it has been a mess, but we're here. And that's all that matters. But now that we have you, let's jump right into some questions. So, to start it off, right? Last season, PN went by IE, right? And their mythic team also won. Who their team name was also Orion or Orion, whichever one. Um, and according to Maddie, only one of you were a part of that team. So essentially, you guys were a brand new roster. So what kind of challenges did you face as a roster of essentially four brand new people to the team?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, we kind of just ran it down with whatever comp we wanted, and we kind of had to, go into scrims and figure out what we actually had to do.
Yeah, I think for sure one of the biggest things was I remember coming in like I think I came on the team late because there were some like MMR issues I think with
Mm.
bringing Kenny in. And I remember just like everyone was dead silent the first match I played. Like the vibes were not good at all. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. This is not fun." So I guess we kind of had to like grow together as a team. And like develop our chemistry in a sense because again it was a new team. But I think it was the reason it was so easy for us to do that is because like a lot of us had already played with each other. I think
Mm.
Connor and Jackson played with each other last season. And then I played with Kenny a couple seasons ago. I played with Gage a couple seasons ago. So, uh,
Gotcha.
yeah.
so it's like
So
a melting pot of all your past experiences on one team, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah, basically. And it all like kind of culminated with all of them making fun of me. That was how we brought the vibes up.
I like that.
He had some of the stupidest plays you'll ever
Bro!
see. She'll just omen TP into 5 people for no reason.
Sounds like blundering.
Multiple
Yeah.
Bro,
times.
I'm the
Yeah.
vibe merchant. I'm the Zelsis of the team. That's what I
Dude,
that's what I
every
say.
team needs a vibe merchant.
Yeah,
They
that's
do.
what I did. That's what I did. I just kept the vibes up. Everyone else flagged out. I kept the vibes up. Except against Casey. The only time I flagged out was against Casey. I turned into Thanos against Casey.
That is true.
Damn.
With the entire
Okay, what-
Infinity Gauntlet.
yeah, bro. I
Was
played
that in
Viper and I
playoffs?
dropped like 25. No, not playoffs. Casey didn't make playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Casey.
It didn't quite, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in like last almost, weren't they?
I think they were like 6th
Fifth?
place.
Yeah,
5th,
fifth or-
6th.
Yeah.
That's
Out
last.
of 8? So it's
Almost.
not,
No, we had
not,
8.
not horrible.
Oh, you guys had 8 in your tier. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
yeah.
remember because like the tiers have shifted around with the amount of teams and whatnot since last season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Also-
So it's safe to say that it was relatively easy for you guys to overcome
Yeah.
kind of the challenges that you had.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot. I think every single player on the team threatened to quit at least once.
Well, good thing you didn't, because you won.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely a rough road,
It
but
was
I'm
rough
glad we
for a
pushed through.
bit.
Yeah.
Because I think we started like 13-3, and then we fell to like
wow.
13-6, 13-7, or something like that. And
Yeah.
the vibes were down. And I got a bunch of map bins. Then we
Oh,
put
no.
it back.
Oh my god. I fought Connor over that. I was like, dude, you need to
Dude,
shut. Wait, am I allowed to
no.
curse?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you need to shut the fuck up in general
No,
chat.
I was playing Minecraft one time, just like chilling in a call, and she came in. I thought she was joking. And she was not joking.
Dude, I called him a bitch. I was like, dude, you are such a fucking bitch. You need to stop talking. It was.
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
awesome.
I know we're airing all our drama out here, but it was like looking back on it, it was pretty funny because Connor didn't even realize I was like actually pissed off. He was like, "Oh, okay." He just like brushed it off.
So, obviously, all of you guys are pretty solid players. I mean, you won the championship. Oh man, this is Jordo's question.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and just cut off Dan there.
Yeah.
And I want to preface this before I ask this question. My experience with, and you guys can already guess who this is probably going to be about. It's, your guys' big X factor on your team, the guy that's 20 MMR higher than the next highest player in the entire tier. I always heard about this guy named Kenny, and everyone always just talked about how cracked Kenny was. And I was a GM in another league, and there was a bid war going on about Kenny because Kenny was coming to the league. And I think almost every team went to the admins and was like, I deserve Kenny. Please give me Kenny. No one wanted to play against Kenny's team. Kenny ends up getting rostered and just rolling every single person he's shooting against. So all of you guys are in Mythic. You guys are all great players. Probably like could beat me with your opposite hand at the game, to be honest. But we can all agree, as a consensus whole, that Kenny is just different when it comes to a Mythic player, and probably could pursue semi-pro Valorant if they wanted to. Probably, I'd assume. What's it like playing with someone like Kenny, and does that have a really big impact on the team? Does a player like that kind of make the rest of the team want to play up to his level? What's the vibe like with having a guy like that on your squad?
I mean, it's great. Like you can just sit back and watch him frag out. You don't really have to do much. I mean, I don't know. Watching Kenny play is just like entertainment in of itself. Like you just look at the kill feed and you see he gets 3 at the beginning of the round, and you're just like, yeah, we won. It's just I don't know. Like you said, he could definitely pursue like semi-pro Valorant just because of how good his aim is. The only thing I would say is he's definitely a very emotional player. So you have to so it's important to have a vibe merchant. Like it's important to have someone to keep the vibes up, or else like if his mental is boomed, he's definitely gotten better because when I played with him on L7, he was a little worse, but for sure.
Do you think that's the difference between like Kenny's team on L7 versus now Kenny finally breaking the Kenny curse and winning a championship? Do you think that makes a difference that he's worked on that aspect of his game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if Kenny like continues to improve the way he does, he could definitely compete tier 2. I don't know, maybe even
Mhm.
like tier 1 eventually. Like I think he's amazing.
Do you know if
He
he
is
has
one
any
of
like
the team.
ambition of that?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
wants to
I
play
think
on like a
he's
tier 3 team right now, but he can't
yeah.
because you have to be 16, so he literally can't right now. But
I always
He's
forget that
not even
he's so
16?
young.
no, he's
Yeah.
15.
Dude,
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah.
how am I ever supposed to get into Mythic, bro? I'm 23 and like, shit, I'm like doing I've started aim labs now because I mean, that's easily the worst part of my game. I finished the season with a .8 KD and it's like, man. And then there's these little cracked 15-year-olds who are just different.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
probably have a better mental than them though. That's the difference.
Fair,
Mental is like
fair.
really important.
I think that's how I overcome personally a lot of the people that are maybe better shooters than me in the tier is that like if they kill me, I don't get upset, but if I kill them, I know they get upset, and then I can just continue to make it spiral.
For sure, for sure.
Oh,
Um,
he's behind me.
yeah, I'm just like the lurking sentinel does not care to set and just stare at a wall for half the round just to kill this person and get my team a clear path to rotate or something. But kind of going off of that last question, do you think a team that in Mythic specifically, or just in general, needs kind of that X factor player like Kenny to win a championship, or do you think if you guys took Kenny off your roster and put in somebody that maybe not up to the caliber of Kenny, but you guys had that same kind of vibe and teamwork, do you think you guys still probably could have won a championship, or do you think Kenny just made that such of a big difference having him?
I mean, you definitely need an X factor because, like, I don't know what it looks like from watching it, but Mythic is not as organized as like, I don't know. It's really just like
Yeah,
comp. Like realistically, it's
it's like
maybe a step higher than comp, but like barely. You
yeah,
just gotta go and shoot.
for
So
sure.
you need a Kenny.
It's definitely not like close to pro play at all. Like you can definitely get away with like I know season 1 or season 2 Mythic, OS won both. They won both by playing like
Yeah.
5 duelists. Like Mythic isn't really as organized as pro play is, so it's like Connor said, it's
Were
like
you
about being able to
here
shoot.
season 1?
I've been VC since season 1, yeah.
Connor,
I was an expert, I guess it was masters then. I was in masters and then I got promoted to expert season 4, I
hmm
I want to say. Yeah.
Connor, how long have you been in the league?
Uh, uh, this is season number 2, I think.
Oh, so you joined whenever we
Oh,
did in season
okay,
5.
yeah.
Yeah, I was on KC last season.
Gotcha.
Looks
Did you
like it was
guys
a
do
smart
well?
change.
Or maybe
Yeah.
them not having Connor was the change that made him bad. But it's funny that you mentioned the OS roster because shout out VDC History of the Orgs whenever that comes out. But as I mean, I gotta say that every episode. Um,
Always got to plug it.
so I was talking to Spence doing the interview about that Mythic roster, and there's even a matchup like before they got into playoffs where they played with a player from their prospect roster and still won.
Yeah, I remember that. Because Teets and I duo. He was on the OS
Oh, teats,
team.
man.
Yeah, we duo a lot. And he was telling me about that time that he won with a prospect player. It was so funny. Actually, like him telling me about that is very similar to like kind of our story because he was like, we they had to have a dedicated sub all the time because a lot of their players got banned a lot for talking in BDC.
He never told me that.
Spence doesn't lie, but he likes to bend the truth a little bit
That's funny.
every now and
That's
again.
awesome.
I heard that was one of the best teams in history of the league,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah,
Um,
they would consistently like shit on people with 5 duelists. It was crazy.
Man, that's great. Yeah, was that the team that also went on to try to play some tier 3 together?
No, that was L7.
Or
Yeah,
is it
that was
L7?
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I couldn't remember exactly which one. I have Dan that talks in my ear about histories of the orgs, another plug right there. And he always mentions all these like interesting stories to me, and I'm always like, oh man, I did not expect like a team like that you just meet randomly people on the internet to go and like have such a great vibe. But I think that kind of speaks to the level of some of the GMs and their ability to pick teams to a high degree, especially with Mythic players, because there is always that like, and I see it in my elo personally because I play against like Ascendants as a plat player right now, and you have those immortal smurfs that come down and play in plat, and there's always like people like, oh, you immortal players have the worst freaking attitudes, or you guys are just really ego-y, and I hear that all the time from some of the Mythic players. They're like, oh, there's a lot of egos in like the Mythic tier. But then I feel like every Mythic player I've ever met, they're like the nicest people, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
just cannot see this
seriously.
being a thing.
Yeah, Zooter was so chill. And,
Yeah, man,
yeah.
what a guy Zooter is. Shout out Zooter.
But let's get back on track. So you guys finished third in the standings at the end of the regular season. Despite being third seed, were you confident in your abilities to win the whole thing?
Yeah, because the 2 seed was L7 or whatever, and we literally just 2-0'd L7 right at the end of the season, so we were definitely confident to go to finals. And LG, although I think we went 1-3 against them throughout the season, but the 3 games we lost were like 13-11, 13-12, or 13-10. So
Mm-hmm.
we were definitely confident to win.
That's
Very
good.
cool. Yeah, so, your third seed coming in, you guys have a lot of confidence. You have arguably, in most people's opinions, the best player in the tier. But then, you're going up against LG in the grand finals. LG, really solid roster, just top to bottom, really solid record. And the tier's MVP, Kickflip, correct? As well?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
On the team. So it's kind of the clash of the Titans. It's Kenny and Kickflip going at it,
Loaded main.
Yeah, the Odin main. And I got to watch that series too. It was a great series. It's a lot of fun to watch. I thought Kickflip was gonna clutch that last round on Split, but he
On
couldn't.
Split.
Was it Split? Or did they win Split? I can't remember.
No, yeah, when he was in
We
the
won.
corner of sight with
Uh-huh.
Odin, right?
Yeah.
And then,
You what's your mindset going into playing a tough team that you guys know that we're 1-3 against them, but it's kind of like the carrot when you're riding on the pig's back where you throw the carrot on the fish and pull out in front, where you guys are so close. Was it kind of one of those things where you guys had a lot of confidence going in, or was it, what was your mindset like? And then did you guys, prep at all to play a team like that, or did you guys just have confidence from the last experiences you guys had with them and just take that into the game?
I think for sure it was like, I know for me personally, I'm like one of the lower ranks on the team. I was like promoted from expert this season. I was just determined to like go and play my own game because like this whole season I've been playing against people who are like 2 or 3 ranks above me. I know like when I first played against KC, Reflex was immortal and I was like plat 3 and I still shit on him. So I just go into it thinking like rank doesn't matter. Like if you're playing against a former Radiant, like it doesn't matter as long as you play with your team, and just like play your own game at the end of the day. And as for scrimming, we did scrim a couple times before, and we got shit on every time. But I think that was like a good learning experience for us because it kind of like brought us together more as a team. Yeah, getting shit on really either like makes you or breaks you. I think.
Were there
Fair.
really any Radiants in the league this season?
Michael
Not any
Kickflip peaked Radiant.
current, but not any
Yeah.
current radiance.
Yeah,
Okay.
not any
I
current
see.
Radiants.
Was that Electron?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
thought. I thought they
Yeah.
changed their name, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah.
Um,
That is wild.
I think that
I
kind of
thought
shows you though that like rank isn't everything, and playing in like an organized setting, like is totally different than just being a high immortal or a radiant player.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Michael Kickflip is the best player. I think Froggy's the best player on their team by far.
Froggy
That might,
fries.
yeah, Froggy's, in my opinion, Froggy's lower than Michael Kickflip.
Who was the one who didn't make that Michael Sark subbed in for?
Dev.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Gotcha.
Good call.
Because who
Well,
else is on the team? Herb Jones is a good player too.
Yeah, he's really good for sure.
He's
hit or
not
miss.
bad, but he's not the assist goat. That's me after this season. Just kidding. Yep. Stole the record. But so technically, I mentioned this earlier. Technically, you guys went back to back, right? Which is something that only 2 other franchises have done. You have the Blaze in Expert, and like you mentioned earlier, OS is Mythic Team Season 1 and 2. So going into it, did you kind of treat it as something that was back to back because technically PN's a new org, or franchise, or did you kind of just treat it as like it's just another day in the office, just going in. I'm just trying to win here.
Just going and frying mythics.
I don't think we ever really talked about last season like at all because I mean none of us were there. So
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, I didn't even play VDC last season, so I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Who was the only player? Was it Kenny?
no, it was
Jackson.
Who was
Jackson, yeah.
Gotcha.
He was like an inactive reserve kind of thing.
I see.
Fair enough. So, do you guys have any trophies at all prior to this championship?
No.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah, congratulations on your first. That's dope. What you're in the final round. Your team wins. What kind of emotions did you feel individually? What was the vibe like as a team in the call? Were you guys going crazy? Were you starting to kind of feel the emotions like, holy shit, we just won against a really good Mythic tier? I mean, what were you guys feeling?
I had to piss really bad.
the nervous pee.
It was like, oh my god, guys, this is great, but I really have to go. But yeah, I felt amazing. I was like, because it was my first time. I'd made playoffs before, but I always got like first rounded, so it was like awesome to actually like win it all. Especially like with
L7?
Kenny. Yeah, I was part of L7. Yeah, we were like, everyone was like, we're gonna win, like, because we had fucking Kenny and like a really good team, but we kind of like sold playoffs. But I don't know. I'm just glad that I got to redeem myself with Kenny. It was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Connor, how
Connor?
did you feel?
I mean, I don't remember. I'll be honest.
You blacked out.
I don't think I was. I don't know. I don't think I was that hyped, but it's definitely cool.
All right, cool.
They're like,
Just
we're
another
immortal.
trophy.
We're immortal. Doesn't matter.
Why did Kenny just DM me? He just said Sigma.
Sigma
awesome.
on the wall.
That's so cool.
No, that's awesome.
I guess I mean that's pretty much all the questions that we had though. So you guys have any last remarks you'd like to add? I mean, you guys did win, so you are free to talk as much shit as you possibly would like.
Fuck KC. Sorry. They're a bunch of shitters.
Did you guys know I had the most map bans in the league this season?
Really?
You did?
I had 9.
Holy shit.
Hey.
Was this one punishment, Connor, or was this multiple punishments?
Okay, so I started the season with 4.
So last season Connor was toxic.
Every season Connor is toxic.
Yeah, and then I think I got like 2 at some point, and then like 3.
Damn.
I don't. Although the 3 got appealed, but I already served them by the time it got appealed. So
it's like Tom Brady that one season where he went to court and got it appealed, but he already served the punishment.
Yeah.
Man, Connor, you got to clean it up, man.
Hey, man, Tom Brady of the league, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have a ring. You have a ring on your finger.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I will say it's kind of cool just on the podcast, like getting to interact with people from the other tiers because obviously we're so involved with the apprentice tier. There's a lot of yappers in that tier, and it's a pretty good time to get in chat and just talking shit back and forth, just because everyone's kind of like a big friend group. But there obviously are some people that just do not like each other. Is that kind of how Mythic is too, where there's a lot of chill people, but then there's those few individuals when they get going in chat, it's like, holy shit, I gotta get my popcorn bucket.
Yeah. No, cause like I don't know, I was chilling with KC, like I was having a good time, and then one of them reported me for something, and that's when I got my map bans. So
that's crazy.
Oh no! And you
Yeah.
came from there. Was it? It could have been maybe a little hostility from
Yeah.
you leaving. Because did you get dropped and then picked up, or did your contract expire?
Well, I kind of asked them to cut me last season because I wasn't rocking with them, and then
Gotcha.
I went to PN this season.
Very
Nice.
cool. Um, yeah. What do you guys think next season? You think you guys have a chance to run it back, or do you think there's going to be MMR issues with,
Or are people just not gonna
Well,
play?
or people not coming
Kenny's
back?
going to be like 300 MMR next season.
I've heard from like everyone that MMR is gonna increase, but I don't
hmm
know.
What is the cap on MMR and Mythic?
Like
There is none, I don't
eight.
think,
No,
right?
there is.
No, there is.
I think it's like 860.
Jeez, we could fit like a super squad and then have like 300 left over and apprentice with that.
Yeah, it's 874.
Holy
Jeez.
cow. Yeah. And Kenny being the highest, what was
Yeah.
Kenny's MMR?
Well, think about that. Kenny's 216. That's a fourth of the MMR. And he's
Yeah.
one player.
So
Holy
we
cow.
had 2 promoted expert players, me and Gage.
Yeah, we had to have
Wow.
2 like tier minimum players to
Yeah.
even give Kenny a chance to play the game.
Yeah. That's so I don't like it.
But
Well, thank you guys for coming on the pod. It's been a blast having you. Thank you once again for putting up with our scheduling mishaps, but we finally got it done. So once again, thank you for thank you for coming on the pod. And if you guys win next season,
we'll see
we'll
you
see you
again.
again.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, because that's definitely gonna happen. Definitely.
And Connor, I
Awesome.
wish you a next season of no map bans so you can play.
Yeah, that's not
all-
happening.
Maybe only 8 this time.
Yeah, maybe you go down just a little bit.
No,
One.
I gotta get at least 2, like minimum. Gotta get at least a little bit, like instigate at least once.
For real.
I respect that.
But yeah, thank you guys very much. You guys are both cool individuals, and thank you guys for your time. I don't know where you guys are located, but you know it's going on 10 o'clock here, so I appreciate the time, and you know, thank you again. So
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
for having us. Yeah. It's been a blast.
No problem. Well,
alrighty.
next up we have the OS not
Prospect.
Apprentice,
Prospect.
Prospect roster. We got AndyJ and Flashbang. Kisei,
Kaisei, I miss
we'll
all
see you-
Sunday.
We'll see
Whichever
you
one.
momentarily. And yeah, we'll see you momentarily.
Yeah, peace.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with some interviews, really special guests. We got some winners of the season. I've been promising everybody, listen, if you want to get on the podcast, just win. Well, these guys did it. Say hello to AndyJ and MissAllSunday from OS. What's going on, boys?
Hello.
Woo. The champions. The champions are here.
Feels good.
The champions we predicted too. Keep in mind, we are
Did we?
LG guys. We're LG guys,
Mm.
and we wanted LG to win because of our bias. But we said, well, you guys are probably gonna win just because your team was just so good.
But did you
Yeah.
predict that at the start of the season?
I think we were pretty
I
close.
mean, it was an even number as possible.
Yeah.
Y'all went all in on HT.
We might have.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Because that's the team Chairless on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, Chairless was playing insane.
Oh, he
And-
had
and
such
then-
a crazy end of the season.
and
I
then-
was so
Yeah.
worried we were gonna play against him. I was like, oof,
Yeah,
that'll be
and
tough.
I mean, to be
That
fair,
guy
it's
needs to get moved up, man.
it was pick your poison. You have a well-balanced team at LG. You have, you have Chairlifts on HT. You have Ash on PN that could carry a game themselves, and obviously then you guys have a really well-rounded team.
with some
and then
stars too.
with some plenty of stars. I mean, yeah, you guys. I originally I thought it was like Nybrocken fans just because I didn't really know a ton about your team, and then I got to watch a couple matches, and I was like, damn, Andy's really good, and then MissAllSunday as well. And then obviously Nybrock just kind of W keys and just kills everyone too. So I was like, that is just a nuts team that you guys had.
Yeah. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have some questions for you lads. So to rip it off. So both of you came from CSC. So you probably, if you didn't know Spence, knew of Spence because of the OS that they have in Order of the Samurai. Did you guys think that you would end up playing with him, or I guess on his team?
I mean, me personally, I joked with him that he should draft me, but going into the draft, I kind of because what they did all, you guys do all tiers, right, in one draft.
Correct. Yeah.
I fell asleep after the first one, and I was like, we'll see, because I wanted to go to KC just because the name sounded better.
Okay. I respect that.
But I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm on OS. Time to go see where this ends up.
I'd say it ended up pretty good. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it
no.
definitely won the coin flip on where I ended.
Yeah.
It's a loaded
What about
coin,
you, Andy?
whether you knew it or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was effectively told, no, I will not be going to OS. I forgot about VDC, and then all of a sudden I get a DM saying that I was drafted to OS. I was like, oh, interesting.
That's cool. That's nice how the cards played out for you too. You know, you forget about it, come back, and you're like, I guess I'll win a championship. You know, something slight.
Yeah, and actually, just like another little funny piece of lore about me being drafted. After preseason match day 2, I'd injured my hand and had to get 7 stitches, so I couldn't play the first
My
like
God.
3 match days and the
Awesome.
final preseason day. I
That's
was like, yep, I'm
crazy.
definitely getting cut.
That's nuts. I mean, I guess it's good that they didn't catch you. But so with the two of you guys coming from CS, do you think that helped you this season? And if were there also some challenges that you faced because of the CS background that you had to overcome, in order to reach the grand finals, let alone win?
I think a big thing that the two of us brought over from CS was just patience during the rounds. We
Yeah.
don't want to take fights every single second we can. We'll be willing to hold off on taking a fight as long as we get an advantage from it.
Yeah, like there was a lot of rounds where you can just watch me, like Lotus especially, I'll sit B main for the first 30 seconds. There wasn't really a lot of players that would just sit there looking at a wall holding a push for 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, like, coming from the CS background and CSC, we already knew how team play worked, and we had like the aim already figured out. It was the nuances that are Valorant that we were lucky to have, like the apprentice team and the expert team and
Yeah.
whatnot to help us with.
The apprentice team was huge for Prospect this season.
Yeah, a lot of my success, like as a duelist, I equate to Brennan just one day just sitting down and be like, "This is how you play duelist."
That's pretty cool. It's nice to have that kind of system. And in the past, some teams would have a prospect roster and a mythic roster, but then not an apprentice and expert roster, or like vice versa. So it's nice that the orgs were kind of condensed this season to where most of them have a team in all 4 tiers. And if anything, they don't have one in prospect or mythic. So it's nice having that kind of brother in arms that you can refer to. So that's really cool.
No, yeah, that's awesome. We scrimmaged our expert team quite a bit, and I think it helped us figure out a lot of our struggles that we were having as a team, and think it helped fix our team play quite
Yeah.
a bit. It's very useful. I know you guys scrimmed your guys' expert team at
Yep.
some point before playoffs. I know Spence mentioned to us at some point, and then I know TK mentioned also that you guys scrimmed the apprentice team a couple times here and there too. And that just kind of shows you, playing against, quote unquote better players, or just like people that are more experienced in like maybe like the Valorant scene of team play aspect. I think it helps you just kind of fix your problems and like maybe realize like, oh, I can't get away with doing these things, and helps you fix them, which is good to hear that, because I'm sure it's across the board, other prospect teams and other apprentice teams, etc., are scrimming, which is good to see that the orgs are kind of taking on like the brother in arms approach, and I think it helps build players that want to like that the VDC can retain because they're learning how to play the game and they're improving, and it kind of gives them that um, sense of wanting to get to the next league and the next league and the next league, and then once you're in Mythic, obviously you're playing against immortals, and you have to be on your shit or else you're gonna get sat down pretty quick, like by a guy like Kenny that's absolutely nuts at the game too. But
Yeah.
um, kind of going on, OS, you guys were dominant. Most of the teams kind of, I would argue, feared you, um, you know, at least through the middle of the part of the season till the end. And obviously, you guys are champions. With that being the third time that the franchise has won, on top of appearing in the grand finals every single season, as new players in the franchise, what do you think it is that sets you guys on OS up differently than it sets up like, say like a team that's kind of struggling? What do you think the difference is between OS versus the rest of the orgs?
I mean, the expectations weren't insane when we got in here.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that we had pressure on us from everyone, but like knowing how successful OS was, there was definitely high expectations, at least from myself on myself, to do
That's
better.
fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of it's just culture. That like, it wasn't really that they wanted us to win or even make it to finals. A lot of
Mhm.
it was they just wanted us to play our best, and everyone was there to help, like, get to that.
Right.
Whether our best ended up being, fifth place and just missing playoffs, or in our case, winning the chip, it was just play your best, like, and show up.
No, and
It
that's
definitely showed out.
yeah, you guys definitely didn't lack in that department, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, just kind of coming into the league, just from like an outsider perspective, like OS was one of the orgs that I personally wanted to play for whenever I saw, and just heard about their like winning culture that they have throughout the league. I mean, LG is one of the other ones I wanted to play for too, and I got drafted by them just because those are the two orgs that you constantly hear are competing for championships throughout, um, up and down the league. Obviously, you guys played LG. LG is also one of those orgs that kind of has that same kind of culture. But
Yeah.
I think having not the expectation to win the championship, but just to improve and get better at the game, I think, and not putting the pressure on yourselves is like the best recipe for success. Because I feel like
Yeah.
personally this year, after we made it to the grand finals last year, I feel like this year we put more pressure on ourselves to win instead of just kind of like last year, we're like, fuck it, let's just try to get into this thing because we are
Right.
on the Oscars right now on the last match day. So that's really cool to hear that Spence has kind of developed that culture within the whole organization.
Mhm.
But with that being said, very similar situation to what Dan and I were in. You got four rookies and you have somebody that's played in the league before. Um, when you guys are all brand new, obviously you guys know some of the people, um, but you might not have played with each other before in Valorant, or you've played each other in CSC or played with each other in CSC. Do you think that being brand new, where nobody had played together before, kind of helped, hurt? How do you guys feel like you guys meshed as a team? I mean, obviously you guys are champions, so it clearly worked out pretty well. But I mean, were there struggles to mesh, or was it just you hit the ground and you guys just ran?
I mean,
Go ahead.
uh, I don't, I don't think any of us knew each other before. Um, I think it was a little bit luck that we were all mature enough to like mesh
Mm.
perfectly.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off that. Yeah, no, like none of us, like, when we talked, like, preseason one was pretty much our final five roster, like what it actually ended up being.
Right.
Um, we had we had all said, hey, like, we don't like bind, but then during picks and bans, we had talked ourselves into playing bind, and after that, like, and we're not a ban or a bind team, but like from there on out, we were all like fine with not playing bind, perma-banning it the entire season, and then like just being mature enough to talk about our weaknesses on other maps, picking different agents, was like a big thing, and no one really getting like upset that like, oh, like I want to play Jet while I'm playing Jet like every other map.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that like having a veteran amongst the four rookies played an impact, or do you feel that the rookies just kind of had that same expectation of kind of how like the goals of the season from the get-go?
I mean, no shade to Koala. I had no idea that she had a trophy, played many seasons before.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about anyone, and I was just like, oh, like we're 5 brand new players. So to me, it wasn't really like, oh, they're a veteran, like they've been here, they know what they're doing. It was more of Koala was just mature about everything, and we were able to talk about stuff.
Very
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah. I mean, from the outside looking into Koala season, it was like last season Koala wasn't like the main piece. Like it
Right.
wasn't one of the star pieces of the OS roster. And so this season where she played such a huge role for us, it was almost as if she was new to that type of like playstyle, like that type of system.
Mhm.
So we were all starting from almost the same level. Just she wasn't asking the same type of questions about VDC as we were, because she was a bit more adjusted to it.
I see. That makes sense.
And
That's
who was
cool,
your
though.
who was your IGL?
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Wait.
So for the first like I don't know 6, 7, 8 match days, we really didn't get
Yeah.
one till our first loss on Sunset, whichever match day that was. Um, we just and
Match
then we had
day
Koala
7.
like as our quote unquote main IGL, and that lasted for like 2 match days, and then we just kind of went back to whatever anyone sees, they call it out if they have an
Yeah.
idea. We
Okay.
honestly, we kind of just trusted each other to know what was going on
Hmm.
and to call out what was happening and what they wanted to do.
Gotcha.
The
Yeah, middle of
community
the season was
style.
rough.
What?
Middle of the season was rough because of that one Sunset loss, and then ISO got buffed, and so we
Oh.
were overthinking ourselves from that Sunset loss, and then we couldn't really slot in an ISO into our comps, and
Right.
ISO was really good against us. So we went from dominant to a ton of close games, and even losing to teams that we probably shouldn't lose to.
Right.
Fair
But
Nice.
then
enough.
ISO got nerfed.
Yeah. Thank God. That was so necessary.
This season's a lot
Yeah.
different if that ISO nerf never came in.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have four rookies and Koala, but as a team with such little experience in this league, however, compared to CSC, for example, how did you handle the pressure of playoffs or grand finals, if there really was any?
Feel like the pressure in CSC is bigger for playoffs just because in Valorant there's so many games that by the playoffs it just feels like another game. In
That's fair.
CSC there's only like you only play like 14 maps in the regular season,
Oh wow.
and then because
Yeah.
like they do best of ones,
Oh.
so it does actually feel important. It doesn't feel like you're just going into your 30th map of the season.
There were a
Uh,
lot of maps this season.
Yeah, it
yeah.
felt like it went on forever.
By the time we hit playoffs, to me it was just we're the better team. We just need to show up and treat it like another match day. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
And especially that PN game, I feel like if that PN game goes a little bit different, and maybe if it went game 3, I think it might have kind of shook us
Mhm.
for grand finals, but we sorted out our issues on split from the prior match day, and
Right.
we're able to close that out and not really think about it too much and just focus on who we were gonna have to play.
Gotcha.
Nice. So LG finished second place in the regular season. So and obviously they have, a pretty solid roster, but an experienced one. Especially led by Defense, who has been on that roster for God knows how long. What did you guys have that kind of gave you an edge against essentially all of the competition, including LG in particular?
Honestly, I think our biggest strength was map pool.
Yeah, I was gonna say map pool.
Like we were solid on like every map, minus our permaban.
Right.
Like we had one set permaban. We weren't like trying to play every map like some teams. We were like, we're not playing bind this season. We never have to worry about it. Um, Sunset was like our weakest of all of our maps, but after like our second time playing it and like through scrims with our apprentice team, we had like found something and like a comp that like we were comfortable playing on that. And if grand finals had went to Sunset, it wouldn't have been a factor. Like it being our
Yeah.
worst map.
Like going into it, we knew that they would either ban Breeze or Sunset. Because like Sunset, they were banning every single match day. Breeze, they knew that we loved Breeze. We were 3-0 on it, including a win against LG, and that was the only time they played it.
Mm.
So we knew that they were going to ban one of those two maps, and we knew that we would win Breeze if they let it in. There was also a little bit of talking about, oh, what if they ban Lotus? We didn't think they would, but we were 10-0 on it going into that game. They were 1-5 on it.
That's crazy.
So,
Yeah.
including a 2-0 against them. But when it got down the stretch, our icebox was just a ton stronger, and our ascent using the deadlock cipher combo that Apprentice had like shown us, we were just way more comfortable.
Yeah, that was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Was not expecting any. I would really just wasn't. I haven't expected the deadlock surge in like everything in general. Because I mean, like Sentinels are trying to run it, so it's like being used in pro play, experimented with, and it's being used now in VDC, and I'm seeing it more in ranked, and it's like, dude, deadlock is everywhere.
She's a
Deadlock's
really
goated.
strong second sentinel.
Yeah.
I've never
Solo
dreamt of-
deadlock is not the
Right.
best because you can just walk out on her
Mhm.
util. But as a second sentinel, she's really strong.
Yeah, I never dreamt of the day where, there was obviously the double duelist comps that still exist, and double initiator was very prominent, and then you had like Astra Viper or like Viper Harbor, double controller comps that are very prominent. Never did I expect to see double sentinel comps become a thing, and all of a sudden here we are, double sentinels. It's wild.
Yeah, no. And our next question was kind of like mentality coming in, but I think you guys have already kind of touched on that a little bit with just previously about your map pool and just your guys' confidence as a team as a whole. So I won't, kick a dead horse and, continue to harp on that particular topic, but we can kind of go on to that next one of, you're in the grand finals. You see that match one pop up on Suns or Ascent, correct?
No, match
Lotus.
one was Lotus.
No, I meant
No, like
the final
win.
map, right? Ascent. You won on Ascent?
Oh, Sunset.
Oh no, are you talking game 5 or the final map we
Game
played?
4.
The game
Oh, game
four
Okay,
four
game
was
4 was
Ascent.
Ascent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So whenever Ascent, you see the match one pop up, you won the grand finals. How did you feel as an individual, as a team? What was the vibe? What were your guys' emotions at that time?
I just remember Kise was the first dead that last round, and then in the VOD going back, every single time someone got a kill, his knife just got louder and louder and louder. It was the funniest thing ever.
After,
awesome.
yeah, it's really tough on those winning rounds. Like once we hit 12, it was like, okay, I think we lost one after we hit 12, and it was like, maybe this is the one. Okay, this is the one. It like that. Like if it kept spiraling, I think we might have lost that game, but we were able to close it out pretty fast.
Nice.
But just seeing, I think it was Thorn just run through Cat and just kill people through smokes and whatever he was doing. It was insane. I was like, this isn't real. We're not gonna win on some like fluke fucking smoke kills. Like, surely something's gonna come correct this.
That's awesome. That's so good. Nice.
And
Nice. I need to see a video of that.
I'm
and
sure we got it somewhere.
especially coming off of, I'd played a really good Icebox game and then played just some of my worst Valorant on that Ascent map. Just being carried by Koala and Thorn and everyone, that I was like, no way, this is happening like this.
That's awesome. It's nice that you can, rely on your teammates too if you're slacking. And that's one of the things that Blind mentioned in the previous episode where he was like, sometimes I'm not holding my weight, but then I look at the scoreboard and Stampy's got a 30 bomb, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have players like Nybrock, Thorn, Koala, Andy, you. I mean, each of you can pull your own weight, and if one person is having a bad game, it's not a big deal. So it's pretty cool to have that.
Yeah, I mean that feeling helped us out a lot that season, especially because like match day 3 was Thorn's big breakout, and so after that point, everyone just got the feeling of, oh, someone's gonna pop off for us every game.
Yeah, like
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's me, someone's going to.
We have 5 shooters on this team, and at any given moment, they can take over the game.
That's
In the words in the words of the great Mango, there's that 5% chance any one of us just went Neo mode and took over.
That's awesome. I don't even know who Mango is, but I love that saying, and I might steal it.
Mango's like the really good like Smash player, right?
He is the GOAT. The GOAT of Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
And the longest signed Cloud9 player.
That's sick, man. Well, that is almost all of the questions. The final one we got for you guys. Do you have any other remarks that you would like to add? As the winners, you guys are at liberty to talk yo shit.
Gecko mains are abusing Wingman.
Yeah, free my boy. Justice for Wingman.
Gotta pay him more.
That's what I was expecting to hear.
I got 165 plants, no Wingman.
Yeah, Andy was literally the only person planting the bomb for us.
That's crazy. As a sentinel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
None of us wanted to plant the bomb.
Back to hold the flank.
None of us wanted to plant the bomb.
Couldn't be me on sentinel.
Yeah,
I'm like across the map killing people and then try to meet up with everybody.
I was proud to plant the spike. I needed those ult orbs.
Gotta get for all, man.
Final words. I mean, I just want to say shout out LG. You guys played a banger of a finals.
True.
Love that.
Humble in victory and defeat.
Yeah, I just remember like very, very kind shit talk.
Match day 2 when we played against LG for the first time, because every time we played LG it was close.
Yeah.
Match day 2 it went to 6 overtimes. I think map 1 was 17-15 for us. Map 2 was 13-15 for them. And just right after that, all of us are going, okay, so it's going to be us 2 in the finals. And then fast forward to the finals and it's us 2.
I
mean, they were amazing.
It's a pretty good guess though, if you just think about the history of like the league in general. Like,
yeah,
it's a fair shout to put OS or LG as like the people that are probably going to be winning or in the championship for the most
Yeah.
part. Definitely not an apprentice this year for LG, but
I mean, the last 3 seasons, I believe OS and LG. Oh, sorry. I guess including this one, so 4, OS and LG have faced off, whether it was in playoffs, grand finals, whichever one it was. But I feel like it's becoming a little bit of a rivalry in prospect.
hmm
Yeah, I think we knew about the rivalry after, I want to say it was like match day 3. We started talking about the rivalry, and it was a pretty nice rivalry to have because we like all of the LG players.
Mhm.
They like us, but like
Yeah,
knowing that there's all that history is just really fun.
and
I
like
think that adds an edge too.
Wanderer
yeah.
was my season 11 CSC teammate.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't even know
that was I talked to him before the finals. Like, it's fucking fantastic seeing you here.
Yeah.
Like, and there's an
Mhm.
ongoing joke between me and him whenever we play in the same lobby. Only one of us has a good game.
Did that hold true?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, if you look back through each one of the games, it was either me or him doing good in each of the
Sounds
games.
right.
hmm Yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much for your guys' time. I don't know what time zone you guys are in, but it is midnight in the one that I'm currently in, and as well as for Paco. Um, but also congratulations, coming from another LG guy, 2 LG guys really, because I know Dan's gonna say the same thing. You guys were fucking frying, and without a doubt, you guys deserved, everything that you guys got this year. And I look forward to seeing quite a few of you guys, probably moved up, and potentially we'll play you in or apprentice next season, depending on MMRs and all that fun stuff. But
Or on our team. Who knows?
or yeah,
Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait.
you guys are on your contract.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I'm
Mods get him for poaching now.
already 1-1 in
they're
apprentice.
kicking my
so
door down.
I've already played my first 2 apprentice games.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true. You
wow.
played in the final, the final of
Yeah.
the regular season, right?
And I was still cooking heads.
Let him cook.
No, very
Well,
cool.
watch out next season, boys.
Yeah, you heard it here, apprentice. They're coming for you. So, yeah, thanks again, guys. Dan, you have any final remarks here?
No, happy to talk to y'all and meet y'all, and I'm looking forward again to seeing you guys next season.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
thanks.
great.
Yo, once again, we got Paco in post-production. We forgot to do an outro for the video, or for the podcast. So here I am, making the outro. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a little bit of a shorter one than usual. I know there's not all the content, but I wanted to make sure that all the champions got all their recognition. So it's only going to be the champion interviews for this one and for the next episode, most likely. But yeah, make sure you guys wish everybody congrats and tune in for the next one. No more Game of Picks, most likely until next season. But we'll see you next time. Peace.